You just got bobbed. SpongeBob, that is, if it wasn't clear. You haven't just been bobbed, you've also been tricked, lied to, bamboozled. Well, not lied to, it says in the title that this isn't a new video, but this isn't a new video, just to be clear. If you thought this was a new video, joke's on you. You're silly. What is this compilation, you may ask? Well, you know, it's also in the title, but I'll let you know for the slower viewers. It's a compilation of the dog-free community, I suppose. What's the dog-free community? People who not just don't like dogs, but hate them, despise them, want them dead. Don't take my word for it. Watch the video right now, or else. Alright, like and subscribe, enjoy, I suppose. Back in February, which feels like many moons ago now, I was sitting on the toilet. No, I won't tell you what I was doing on there, I'll leave that one to the imagination. Stop thinking about it, you freak. But I was sitting there, doing my business, scrolling, as you do, and I got a notification from YouTube. It was about a post about me. So automatically I was very intrigued, and I clicked on the notification. It took me to this. A post by a person named K9Official, and I saw the name and I went, interesting. I have no idea what that means, but I'll read the rest and see where the context clues take me. We've got another one, and on this very day, I'm going to analyse one of these mutt-worshipping normies who can't comprehend why such forums exist. Talk about living in a bubble. Talk about nutter fragility. Thanks, Amanda. I don't know if he meant Amanda, or if there is a person named Amanda. Maybe there is. I haven't heard of the name before. Because, again, as he said, I live in a bubble. I have no idea what's going on. But yes, I read this and I went, ow, that's mean. I'm not a nutter. Even though I kind of come across as a nutty type of guy on my videos, I'm normal-ish. And if you're wondering what this is about and you've never seen this before, it's about these people who hate dogs. The very existence of dogs turns them red with rage. Some of them have reasons, you know, they've been attacked by a dog before or something like that, and that's fair enough. You know, you don't like dogs, you don't like dogs. I don't care. You know, I like dogs, you don't like dogs, oh no. Who cares? You like ferrets, I don't like ferrets. That's weird. You like ferrets, but you don't like... Anyway, it doesn't matter, it's none of my business. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'll have a look at the channel. And I did. I looked over it, and it's just, destroying dog memes featuring dog culture critics. The very well-known dog culture critics, DCC, very well-known and beloved. But I thought, hey, it'd be, be funny to have a look at this guy's channel and kind of respond and, have a bit of fun with it. But, weeks passed, months passed, I went, who cares? I forgot about it, really. I just went, why bother? I don't think I can be bothered. But I was going through my screenshots on Google Drive, as I do from time to time, see if I've got any good things in there. And I came across it again, and I went, interesting, let's see what this fella's up to. K9Official, as if there's any other one. And I scrolled down, and I just, had a look at some of the videos. I haven't looked through them, I just look at the thumbnails, and, they're, in a word, insane. But you may be thinking, that might be harsh. You've only looked at the thumbnails, how could they be insane? Well, just look at them. Don't think I need to really say anything other than say, look at them, look at that. But it's not just the videos, it's also the posts. This was a fantastic one that I had a nice little chuckle to. Dog worshipping psychopaths and disingenuous shills need to quit accusing us of supporting so-called animal abuse. For starters, dogs can scarcely be considered animals, okay? Since they are the bastardization of one. Secondly, the only animal most of us have an issue with, besides a few people in this space extending their critique to pet culture in general at the times, is dogs. And we don't want to abuse dogs. We want them to no longer be propagated. So you want them to no longer breed? Okay, that's an interesting view. I don't want to abuse them. That's ridiculous. I just want them to all die and no longer exist. The very existence of dogs is predicated on animal abuse. See what they've turned the majestic wolf into, a pathetic, deadly aberration. And you dog apologists, directly and indirectly support animal abuse by embracing, acquiring and maintaining dogs. Yeah. How dare you acquire an animal that needs a house to stay? You know what you should do? You should leave them out on the street. You should leave them in the pounds where they get euthanized. That's where you should leave them. In case you never got this memo, dog food does not grow on trees. Are you serious? It doesn't grow on trees. Dog food doesn't grow on trees. Huh. Wow. I never thought about that. I always thought, hey, I go to the supermarket and the dog food's there in with everyone else's food. It's a supermarket. I just automatically assumed that if it's in the supermarket, it must grow on trees, just like everything else in the supermarket. Because when I go to like the lolly section, I want a packet of sourworms. I go, wow, look at that, the majestic sourworm. Recently picked off the sourworm tree. Give me 2. Tons of harmless and actually beneficial animals are sacrificed to these ravenous and pointless shithounds. But of course you mutt worshippers don't care about any of those animals. Well, you know what, you're right. Just because I like dogs, that means I don't like any other animals. I hate the rest of them. If I could just live in a world with just dogs, I mean, that's the perfect world, really. We don't need any of these other animals. Giraffes? Get them out of here. They're weird. They've got long necks. I don't like it. Or the many wildlife animals dogs routinely harm just by virtue of existing. In point of fact, one of our primary objections to the presence of dogs is how harmful their very existence is to the natural world. People have concocted a bizarre, warped version of a natural animal, the dog's progenitor, and now embrace and artificially propagate its degenerate mutant descendant, and have contempt or indifference for actual canines, and all native pre-existing fauna because they inexplicably worship this of nature. This is now pointless human creation, which has outlived any usefulness it may have had to our species. And you know you're right, dogs have outlasted their usefulness, and I think we could apply that to a lot of other things. Grandma, if you're watching, okay, we're taking you to the pound, you've outlasted your usefulness. Dogs should have fallen out of favour, gone extinct sometime around the Industrial Revolution. If you're going to talk crap, at least get your facts straight, nutter. I can't believe you just called me that. Okay, that's my word, alright? Only I can use it. Wow, call me a nutter, honestly. Call me a nutter again, see what happens, pal. Don't cross me. As you can see, it's quite the obsession, and as I've said many times in the 3 videos I've done on these people prior, you don't have to like dogs. You can hate dogs, that's fine. Like, you're making this big hullabaloo like you have to own a dog, you must own a dog. That's not the case. I haven't seen any governmental mandate where that's been imparted onto you. Let people have dogs, or cats, or ferrets, but let them do it, you know, or don't. You don't have to have them. Just like children, you don't have to have children. You can not have them, or you can have them. Okay, it's not a big deal. Everybody does what they want, and we just go on our way. It's not some fascistic regime where you must own a dog. Okay, just it happens that a lot of people like dogs, and you don't. But do you really need to make a whole channel about it? I mean, got nothing better to do, you know? No family, friends, anyone. A coffee shop you might like to go to every once in a while. Anything? Oh, my bad. It's been taken over by dogs. All of it's been taken over by dogs. You can't even go outside. That's my bad. Okay, I should be more vigilant with what I say, because you do live in a prison of your own design. But that's enough from me, alright? You want to hear from Canine Official, alright? The expert on mutts, as he calls them. You know, I don't know where to start to really impart the wisdom of this person, but I think one reason the world's getting worse looks like a good video to start at, because, you know what, I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking, what has been making the world? Why does the world feel worse now? What could it be? And, you know, I never thought to go, hey, it's dogs. Dogs are the reason my life is trash, and I hate it. But before we continue on with the video, I usually like to check the description and see what they've got to say under it, because sometimes there's stuff left out, and you go into the description and go, oh, I forgot that, I'm going to put that in there just in case someone comes down here. So let's do that. Here are the lyrics to the end song. I wrote these very recently. Vocals and instrumentation are AI generated. Of course they are, why wouldn't they be? The person who's like, the mutts, they're killing the natural habitat, uses AI. I'm not even going to say anything about that. I think you can put 2 and 2 together. Now, I'm not saying you don't actually care about the environment and just using it to propagate your hatred of dogs. No, I would never say that at all. That doesn't sound like something I would say. Other people might say it, but I would. No, I'm a nice guy. I wouldn't do that.
I'm going to start with a brief account from a subscriber who wishes to remain anonymous. The story they shared with me is so infuriating, and it goes to show 2 things. 1, that we are clearly living in an unjust world and society.
You are correct. You know, you are correct. We are living in an unjust society and world. You know, genocides are taking place, people being starved. That is correct. But I have a feeling that that's not going to be the reason you're going to be bringing that up. It's going to be something way, way stupider.
2, that dog owners are privileged and pretty much taking over everywhere and making people's lives absolutely miserable.
This dog situation is so incredibly depressing, and it's like screaming in a vacuum with no one listening. Things got worse at my home once I put up my privacy tarp from my nutter neighbor. She targeted me more, letting the dog bark, throwing a ball continuously on the fence for the mutt. but it's her looking in my windows that is the absolute worst.
Sorry, what? Listen, I don't know where this story's going, but it sounds like the neighbour, yes, does sound a little insane. What the fuck does that have to do with the dog? The neighbour was constantly throwing the ball at my fence and looking through my windows, and you know what? That made me realise that dogs need to go away from this earth. That's what it made me realise. The neighbour was an insane person, but it was the dog, actually, that I had the issue with.
I complained to the landlord, but she actually enjoys the fact that I am in this predicament. So, I have to keep my curtains and windows closed now, just to protect the little bit of sanity I have left. It's so depressing to keep your curtains and windows closed all day. I'm paying rent for a patio I can't even step outside on, windows and doors I can't open. Anyway, I'm just so down because the presence of dogs continues to reduce my quality of life, and there is absolutely nothing I can do about it. I barely leave my home and avoid people now. I can't stand seeing people walking dogs any longer. I can't stand interacting with people and their dogs on the sidewalk. Everyone is housing and feeding these mutts. It disgusts me.
Listen, I was on your side when the neighbour was looking through your window, okay? That's an invasion of privacy, absolutely. The rest I didn't quite get. What did that have to do with anything? Dogs walking on the sidewalk and being around you out in public? You're stuck in a prison of your own neuropathy is what it sounds like. Listen, again, the neighbour shouldn't be looking through your window if that's actually what happened. But the rest? Huh? Like, it just sounds like you got a crazy neighbour that is a bit of a freak. I mean, I don't know what that's got to do with dogs and hating dogs. Is it because she has a dog? There's more stories to come, so we'll keep going. And by the way, that 1 minute and 40 of AI voice just killed 14 trees. So this nature argument about dogs is really running its course, isn't it? Just before we do get on to the next story, I do want to just congratulate this person on the editing, because this zoom on the dog
With people and their dogs on the sidewalk. Everyone is housing
is one of the funniest things I've seen all year. So to you, congratulations. Seriously.
Dystopia, a society in which there is great suffering or injustice, typically one that is totalitarian or post-apocalyptic. A compelling argument can be made that aspects of our current reality increasingly resemble the dystopian scenarios depicted in the Netflix show Black Mirror.
Now I just want to remind you, the viewer, that this isn't about a fat pedophile running the American government. No. This is about dog ownership, and I don't know how totalitarian it is. I mean, there's plenty of fascistic things going on in the world. Dog ownership, I don't see it as that. I see it as a thing that people do because they like dogs and they like having a animal companion. But we don't see eye to eye, and that's okay. For me, this channel really is a best of schizophrenia compilation, and I love it.
Of course, they have yet to produce an episode reflecting the Kafka-esque waking nightmare of living in a dog-infested world. This term, Kafkaesque, refers to the confusing and nightmarish worlds where individuals struggle against overwhelming, incomprehensible forces.
This can't be a real person, right? I mean, this person cannot exist in the real world. I agree. I'm not laughing because I disagree, I'm laughing because it's so obvious. And how have people not gotten this earlier, that this is a very Kafkaesque world that we live in? This dog ownership. I mean, this totalitarian world where people own dogs by their own right? Ugh, makes me sick. I mean, the funny thing is comparing, someone's choice to own a dog to totalitarianism because you don't want people to own dogs because you don't like dogs is a very totalitarian way of thinking. So, now it may sound like I'm being skeptical, and, rightly so, but I've been convinced. I think, the one reason the world's getting worse is dogs. And it's got nothing to do with anything else that's going on in the world right now. Fat pedophile in office in America, genocide. I don't think those are the issues that are making the world worse. This guy's right. It's dogs. And I've been convinced. So that's why I'm going to skip the rest of this 23-minute video. And I really want to hear this AI song that he made. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, and I'm going to be up out of my seat. And I hope you're up out of your seat too. Let's listen together. Let's enjoy.
Dogs don't belong in markets. It was so gross to see.
Some all up at Walmart, deep in the produce
That's where we all stop, go to get groceries.
It shouldn't be in shopping carts so near you or me.
When we're in a place to shop, not supposed to be.
A stink beast at these spots we never chose this scene. Dogs belong nowhere.
That's a beauty. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing because it looks like it's going to be about 4 minutes long. But can I just say, that's got to be the most Imagine Dragons song that's ever been released ever. I don't think the Imagine Dragons could release a song that sounds so much like the Imagine Dragons, ever. You know, I hope you enjoyed this. I really wanted to share a spotlight on one of the great channels that is really promoting the good work that people do all around the world with mental health. And I think people like this who, I guess, create a whole channel dedicated to one thing they despise could really use that help, and I hope they seek it. Dog. Sure, you don't have to like dogs, but being like anti-dog, it's kind of crazy. You may be thinking, Canine Official, that's a name I've heard before. Where do I know this person from? And well, you know them from such hits as Barking Alone is the reason enough to ban dogs, Service dogs should be abolished, and Dead dogs don't attack. More anti-dog anthems. But I'm not here to attack art and say it shouldn't be around. I'm here to critique it. And you may say, are you calling this art? Most of it's AI slop. And I'll say, true. That's correct. You'd be right. But it's allowed. So, just have to deal with it. But before I get into the videos, I want to see the posts. What are they saying? Are they along the same lines? Yes, of course they are. What are you, stupid? Dogs are a man's best friend. It's such a blatant lie. It's propaganda. It's like saying a shark is a sea lion's best friend. Is it? I don't think that's even close. What? I don't know many times I've been wandering around the place and in fear that a dog's going to eat me for dinner, you know? Or that lions are zebras' best friends. Again, that's a bit of a false equivalence, but, you know, I get what you're trying to say, I think. Someone that actually cared about you would either refuse to hurt you or would be incapable of doing so in the first place. Dogs not only have instincts to harm other living creatures, which is often us. They are animals, correct, and they do have instincts to hunt. You were correct on that part. I don't know about you, but I don't see many packs of domesticated dogs wandering around the streets hunting for humans. Like, I don't know where you live. They attack and menace people every single day, and trained attack dogs aren't refusing their master's orders on principle, or out of love for their species. How the fuck can people lie about dogs being our species' natural allies or some crap? We're being lied to and gaslit about these horrific beings and their true nature every day. What always gets me is just the language. It's so inflamed. Gaslit? You're being gaslit. I think we can all agree that's a well-structured post, okay? My mind has been turned already. But if you haven't been turned just yet, I think we should dive in the deep end. I think we should watch a video called Dead Dogs Don't Attack. And from what it looks like, it's a music video. So, colour me excited.
Dogs over people, you might be a nutter. No, wait, of course you are. When you devote your life to mangy beasts, despite how they overpopulate these streets, despise the homeless.
Wait. Stop. Just stop for a second. Stop. I was vibing, alright? Okay? I was into this AI slop that you've produced, Kanan, but then one of the lines are, they despise the homeless. So you think that dogs are just going around the streets, spitting on homeless people, biting them and shit? Like, is that what you think's happening? Is that what you think's going on? Once again, where do you live? And why is there some epidemic of dogs walking around and just attacking homeless people? I feel like that would be a bigger story. Like, going back to my video previously, you know, you say that dogs are stupid and they don't know what they're doing and they're idiots. But then in the same breath, in this AI slop video, you're saying that dogs are quite, I guess, calculated because they're, you know, wandering the streets in packs, despising homeless people. Which, I mean, in terms would mean they're attacking them. They see a homeless person, ooh, you have no money and no house? I'm going to bite you. Or are you just using every societal issue and for some reason, putting it on dogs. Like, I know in your brain that's like, that makes sense, because you just want dogs gone, that's it. You just want it dead. You want them dead, you want them gone, you don't want them to exist. So I'm going to put every societal issue that's ever existed onto dogs for some reason. That'll get my message across. Now I want to skip forward and go to the feature song of this amazing video. It's compiled all the amazing songs that Canine Officials made, to Dead Dogs Don't Attack. Now that sparks my interest because, I mean, I guess you're right for the second time this video. Dead dogs don't attack because, well, they're dead. So, I mean, you're stating the obvious, but I'll give it to you.
Dead dogs don't attack. No, they don't. No, dead dogs don't attack. No, they don't. No, dead dogs don't attack. No, they don't.
I don't know if this is an indictment on Megan Trainor, but this kind of reminds me of All About That Bass. Again, I don't know if that's an indictment on her. I'm going to say yes, but, you know, we'll continue.
It stays so cold when its body temp drops lower than Frosty's and gets to be colder than a soft drink. We raise a glass and celebrate that to state a fact. Dead dogs don't attack.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I was like, oh, you're describing, you know, a dog kind of dying, you know, their body temperature getting colder than soft drink, which, I mean, gonna be honest, it's not a great line, but, you know, that's not really the biggest problem in this video. But you were just stating a fact that dead dogs don't attack. And you know what? I'm a guy who likes facts. So I'll give it to you. Dead dogs, like I did before, you're correct, dead dogs don't attack. And it can't be a terrible thing to say, okay, if it's just a fact. So get a grip, guys. Come on.
A mud-free world is cooler than froyo. Summer walking home after school with a snow cone. No need to worry about a beast on the loose. When Christmas comes around, they stay freezing, it's true.
And it's true what the AI Slop song says in this. With dogs around, you can't get a snow cone and walk the streets safely. No, no, no. Okay? Just before I did this video, I was wandering out. I was like, it's kind of warm today. I could go a snow cone. Started walking out there, out the front of my house. Bang. 3 dogs came up on me, attacked me. And because of the fear that's incited in me, I can no longer get a snow cone. But when all dogs are dead, I can be free to get as many snow cones as I want. And isn't that the life we want? Snow cones, unlimited snow cones. Now I like giving second chances, or I'm going to give a second chance. Okay, I'm going to go back to the YouTube post because, as we've seen from the video, musically, not great. Does it get your message across? Absolutely, but I'm sick of listening to it, and I've only been listening to it for a couple minutes. So I'm going to go back to the post, as there's millions of them, and I'm going to give you one last chance to convince me and everyone else why we should get rid of dogs permanently. Wanting no more dogs is not about cruelty to animals. It's about human welfare and public health, as well as animal welfare. Animals that are not dogs would benefit from their absence, as would we. Well, I mean, I think animals in general would probably benefit from not having humans around, to be honest. But, you know, that's another argument for another day, I guess. As we know, and was recently pointed out, yes, many such examples. It used to be the case that a dog which drew blood was quickly put down. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that any dog that maims anyone is, most of the time, gets put down. I don't know where you're from, buddy, but where I'm from, that happens. I wish society would realise collectively that dogs, as long as they're around us, will just keep biting because that's what the fuck they do. Now, someone pointed this out when John Lennon abandoned his son. It could be a vibes thing, okay? Maybe you just have bad vibes. That's why you keep getting bitten. The track record shows that attacks by them don't ever stop, and many are fatal or life-altering. Many are fatal, I just don't think that's true. From what I've seen, from looking up, I'm not going to give you any links or examples because, I mean, you don't, so what's the point? If that's the case, you know, if a couple people die from dog attacks per year, just in Australia, let me be clear, and we're making the case that we should get rid of a whole species of animal because of a couple deaths a year from them, should we not get rid of ourselves? You know, I mean, we're way more dangerous. Because I don't know the exact percentage of human-related deaths per year, but I know it's a lot higher than a couple. So if making that argument, I think we should all kill ourselves. Perhaps more than anything, I wish it wasn't controversial to say all this. I mean, to say that you want a whole group of animal, human, whatever, to be extinguished from the earth, it's going to be controversial. I mean, come on. You have to know going into it, when you're making that argument that we should kill all insert group here, it's going to be controversial. I mean, You know, just because I want all Texans to be extinguished from the earth, I mean, I don't think that's controversial. Is it because I want a group of people gone from the earth? Is that why it is? Because if so, that's ridiculous. Oh, because I want all bears destroyed from the earth, gone forever. I'm the bad guy. Okay. That it wasn't controversial to understand and explain that it'd be best for us to take proactive approach to put them all down in advance before they can bite anyone until there is no more dog bites or maulings. Dog worshippers will hate this because it means no more beasts for them to be nasty or vicious with. I know when I had my beast, okay? And he's dead, so you'll be happy about that. But when I had my beast, I was going around, going to the beach. I was going to the beach with him, and I was saying, look at this sunbather, you go kill, DJ, kill. When we'd walk around the streets, I'd say, I'm gonna make sure you assault every person we walk past. And he would, because he was smart, but he was also stupid, but at the same time conniving, so, you know, he's a little bit of a juxtaposition on himself. Or to have as socially acceptable living teddy bears. And because they don't care about people getting injured or inconvenienced by the existence of dogs. I'd say probably 95, you know, I'm gonna be generous to you, 95% of dog owners probably would give a damn if their dog attacked a human, you know? You know, I know the world's crazy, but I don't think everyone's a psychopath. But they'd be very hard-pressed to argue that there is any more effective solution to the slew of issues created by their existence. No more dogs around. In fact, it'd be impossible for them to make such a case. I mean, I feel like I've made a case fairly well here. You know, maybe not the best case in the world. I'm sure people would be more, you know, articulate with what they're saying, but I think I've done okay. I've said it before and I say it again. Every time I go onto the Dogfree subreddit or watch this person's YouTube or read their posts or whatever, I'm always reminded of incels. It's uncanny, honestly. It's like they blame all their problems on one certain thing, one certain group of people. I mean, I guess it's less destructive that they've gone after dogs instead of, you know, women. But it's fun. It's just funny, the parallels. You know, all the problems in the world that they have would be fixed if there were no longer dogs around, you know? Dog is free. Dog free. Free dog to good home, never worn. Dog free. Today I'm back on the Dogfree subreddit. The last couple times I've looked at the Dogfree community, it's been a specific YouTuber. I can't remember what his name is. Something foolish, I can't remember. But I thought I'd go back to the root of the community, and that's... well, it's on Reddit, what a surprise. But today I'm gonna try a different approach, you know, I'm gonna listen, okay? I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna learn. I'm not gonna judge. For as long as I can, anyway. So let's get right into it. Let's be positive today. Let's put the shoe on the other foot. The phone on the other hook. People say that? I don't know. Well, it happened again. I can't believe it happened again. That's no good. I mean, they hit a third and fourth tower. Who would have thunk it? I mean, it gets a bit stale, you know, you hit the first two, everyone's like, whoa, that's crazy, that's, you know, never forget. 3 and 4, I might forget a little. I was chatting with a perfectly nice man on a dating app, and then he brought up dogs. Eye roll, hate when men bring up dogs. Disgusts me. No, I will not show you my dogs, bud, alright? We've just started talking, maybe later. He said he was thinking about getting a dog. I said, ooh, I don't like dogs. And you know what's such a fair response when you're courting someone and talking to them. I think, you know, yeah, I think I'm thinking about getting a lawnmower. Ugh, lawnmower, disgusting. You want to mow your own lawn? He said, oh, but dogs are so cute. Man, am I right, ladies? So evil. And I'm done. I'm not even going to entertain a possible relationship with someone who likes dogs. I know, he yuck. So this isn't me arguing with your point of view. This is me just I'm just asking a question, okay? I'm just asking a question, just let's relax. So if he's the perfect guy, you know, he ticks all your boxes, but he may or may not get a dog. He doesn't even have a dog, but he might get a dog. No good? No go? Again, just asking. I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to get inside your head. Assuming we start dating. Now I'm just going to be annoyed because you'll have to interrupt our dates to go home and let out some f***ass dog because their high-maintenance asses can't be home alone longer than a few hours. As someone who's owned a dog before, I don't understand the thing where, like, a dog can't be by itself for a few hours. I mean, I feel like most people and their dogs usually, you know, there's a little bit of separation. You know, at the start when they're a puppy, you know, you kind of, you know, teach that into them. You know, you leave them for longer and longer and then bam, you know, they can be alone for the whole work day. You get home, you do your thing, right? Like, I definitely know there are some people with some annoying dogs that are really anxiety ridden and just can't be home alone for more than 5 seconds. But I feel like the vast majority of people who train their animals, dogs, whatever, usually, you know, they can stay by themselves for a little while and forget ever spending the night. Why does everyone like dogs? Is that a rhetorical question, or
Do you want me to answer it? Probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't. You know, I'm taking your thoughts and feelings from this post into consideration. I'm really thinking on it, and it's valid. It's valid. You know, the fact that you have this hatred of dogs, and you know, this guy may or may not get a dog, even though he's perfectly nice and, you know, could go somewhere, and you don't want to date him because he may get a dog. Perfectly fine. That's normal, I think. The possibility of having a dog that has a high maintenance ass, that would piss me off. Let's see if people in the comments are also taking my approach and validating what this person's saying. As a guy, I have the same standard. I'll never date a woman who has a dog or plans to get one. I cannot live with the barking, the smell, how they warp everything around them. I don't know, dogs could do that. They can warp things? It's kind of impressive. And here I thought they were just some regular old pet. Boy, was I wrong. They're professional cock blockers and straight up dumb. Sorry? The dog is the professional cock blocker? I mean, again, as someone who's owned a dog, I've never had that experience where my dog is cock blocking me. I didn't know that was an experience people had, but there you go. This is why I go to these places, these subreddits, because, you know, you learn something new every day. Dogs can cock block, apparently. I didn't know. Is that a thing they do often? Is that like a character trait? Maybe I just got one without that trait, I don't know. I'm keeping a positive and open mind, but just one suggestion, and you know, you don't have to take this if you don't want, but there's these things, and I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but doors, they usually, you know, screw on the opening that goes into the room, you know, a couple of hinges, handle, sometimes a lock, but you do you. You clearly live in a place with a lot of beaded curtains. My mind is open, my mind is free. Let's continue on with some more posts. If you hate dogs, then you are not welcome anywhere. Wow. I had no idea, and, you know, that's terrible. Is it like a segregation thing? Because if it is, that's no good, okay? We can't be segregating dog lovers and non-dog lovers, alright? We should all come together as one. Like, seriously. Apart from this subreddit, hating on dogs literally gets you cancelled. As I've said many times, I'm keeping an open mind and I'm keeping an open heart, but to get cancelled, doesn't one have to be known? Don't people have to know who you are to get cancelled? I thought that was the whole thing. Anyway, let's not nitpick, okay? That's not what I'm here to do, okay? Nitpicking, no. Open heart and mind and soul, say yes. Like, I was in a group chat with some friends and we were talking about pets and they said dogs are the best pets. I said, nah, I think dogs are kind of suck. They're really loud, disruptive and dirty. And they said, how dare you, dogs are literally angels. Like, are you kidding me? Like, who would be such a psychopath that you would react like that to someone who just doesn't agree with you? I'm glad that this community is somewhere I can vent about dogs. I feel like it's not welcome anywhere else. I'm just gonna need a minute, just 1 minute, just I feel my mind, heart and soul closing, and that's not what I'm here to do today. I'm not here to close up shop. I'm here to open up shop. I can see how a friend in a group chat saying, how dare you, dogs are literal angels, can be seen as you being cancelled. But I have some good news. I have some good news for you and anyone like you who has the thought of any slight pushback as being cancelled. That's just like a disagreement, really. I don't even know if it's a disagreement. That's one of the lighter disagreements I've ever seen. But you know what? Maybe they do have an underlying psychopathy issue. I don't know them. They're your friend. So I'm going to defer to you on that. Maybe they are a psychopath. Now, once again, I want to see that people are keeping up with me and keeping up with my open-mindedness, soulness. So I'm going to quickly delve into the comments and see, what are they saying? I think dog nutters secretly know they've made a terrible mistake by devoting their entire lives to an ungrateful animal. But at this point, they can't say it out loud, much less admit it to themselves, so they double down. And you know what? I'm sure there's millions of people out there that share that sentiment, and they're like, oh, why have I devoted my life to this deity, the dog? I can't change my mind now. I'd look like a fool. I'm going to double down. Field jacket, if that is your real government name. I think you've hit the nail on the head. Sunk cost fallacy? Let's not bring penis into it, okay? It's unbecoming. Dogs are so wet. Look, I'm keeping my mind open and my heart clear of intrusion, but how would you know how wet a dog is? I wouldn't say it, but some outsiders who have a closed mind and a shrunken heart would say, that's kind of freaky. The other day I was walking into work, in the hospital. I wasn't paying attention and turning the corner, I bumped into a giant Newfoundland dog. It was only for a second, but the entire pants was soaked with slobber. So much that I had to dry myself in the bathroom and call my boyfriend to bring me more pants. Do they not have any more pants at the hospital, like scrubs? I feel like they should have more on hand than none. Well, you know what my open mind found today? Dogs are wet. Who knew? I'm super allergic to saliva. That's a thing? Just in general, saliva? You just have constant dry mouth? How do you live? Sorry. I felt the mind closing then and the heart fading away with every syllable. I must apologise. I apologise. That sounds awful. Sounds like hell, actually. I would be dying as I the place that's trying to save me. And you know what? Never a truer word said. You would be dying as I the places that's saving me, or whatever you said. I'm so fucking sick and tired of America's fetish for these damn beasts. I like to have the thought that they call it America with the 3 Ks. Not because of any, racism, because people own dogs. And you know what? That's fair enough. Oh, you're beaten down by the system due to race? People own dogs, honey, okay? Get to the back of the line. I've been living in South California for my entire life, and it's gotten to the point that I can't even stay at home or go outside with these fucking monsters barking and going up to me. And you know what? That sounds like a self-made hell. I mean, sorry. That's the closed-mindedness talking. That sounds like normal hell, where people go when they're evil or something. It's even worse in my community college because these nutters treat it as their own personal dog park. There needs to be more regulations when it comes to the ownership of these worthless, misbegotten mutts. True. I'm not laughing. This is serious. Stop. Serious. Serious face is on. Okay? Don't say I started. That's just how my face looks when I'm serious. See? How many children need to be mauled and attacked these beasts until we have decided as a collective that enough is enough? So true. And in fascist America, everyone must own a dog. Everyone. You may be thinking the gerrymandering in America has gone too far. You may be thinking, the cuts to Medicaid in America has gone too far. You may think the immigration enforcement has gone too far. Guess what? We have bigger fish to fry. And by fish, I mean dogs. Anyway, I really think I've kept an open mind, heart, soul, and third eye today, and I'm really proud of myself. So to the dog-free community, I hope you give me countless praise for giving you a fair shake of the sauce bottle. I think I've really learned a thing or two. And I just, I want to thank you for opening everything, every hole, every orifice, both the same thing. Namaste, as they say in some places. Anyway, like and subscribe, I'll see you later. And my challenge for you today is to go up to the local crackhead on the street and keep an open mind. Listen to what they're saying. You may learn a thing or two. Good night, day, whatever.
Shifty Drongo.
I love Shifty Drongo.